Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Danielle if you're new, and I'm a full-time reseller on Poshmark and Mercari. Today is Wednesday, which means a brand new What's a Wednesday video is here. If you're new here and you're not sure exactly what What's a Wednesday is, this is just a video I release every Wednesday. I go through my sales from the previous week, talk about them more in depth, what sold, how much I paid for it, where I got it from, and all that good stuff. So if you're interested in seeing my sales from last week, go ahead and keep watching and let's jump right in. All right, jumping right in, we're going to be going over sales from September 12th to September 18th. The first day we're going to go over is September 12th. The first sale I made was a Poshmark sale. This is a pair of Lululemon Align Pant 2 in a size 6. These sold for $80 with a Poshmark fee of $16, and then I was left with $64. These were from a flip lot, and when I say something is from a flip lot, that just means I use the app Flip and I'm consigning the item for someone. So people send me their stuff for free and then I sell it for them and then give them a profit, and then I take a profit as well. So when I say something is from a flip lot, that just means it is on consignment and I'm not making the full amount. I am splitting it with my client. As everyone should know, Lululemon is an amazing selling brand. It is extremely popular. The Align pants are probably their most popular leggings in my opinion. Personally, I love them, so I just imagine they're the most popular. They always sell for the most and the fastest for me when I have them. And next up is a Mercari sale, and this is by the brand Carrots. These were a pair of performance equestrian tights. These sold for $50 with a selling fee of $5 and a processing fee of $1.75, and then I was left with $43.25. These were once again from a flip lot. They took about 2.5 weeks to sell. These sold outright for $50, meaning I listed them for $50 and they sold for $50. I was actually extremely surprised these sold on Mercari, because typically on Mercari I don't have super high price sales. But this whole last week, I actually was on fire on Mercari. You're going to see I had a ton of Mercari sales, and I actually had quite a bit of higher price Mercari sales, which is extremely surprising because typically on Mercari, I feel like people don't spend as much. But these ended up selling outright for $50, so I'm extremely happy with it. They sold extremely fast and they had a great profit. And the last sale on September 12th was a pair of 7 For All Mankind Dojo flare leg jeans. These sold for $49 with a selling fee of $4.90 and a processing fee of $1.72, and then I was left with $42.38. If you've been kind of following along my What's a Wednesday videos previously, you know I had a ton of these sent to me by my consignment client. These were actually sent to me and they had a small stain on them, and it took me a while to actually get them out. And once I finally washed them, the stain didn't come all the way out, but it did fade a little bit, which was great. But after I ended up listing them, they took 3 days to sell, which this is another surprising Mercari sale because it's a pretty high up there Mercari sale. And typically I can get anywhere between $50 and $70 for Dojo Jeans, but I did accept $49 just because I knew it did have a small stain still that was not super visible, but it was still there. And it was on Mercari where the fees are just a little lower. So I was happy accepting $49, but typically I get upwards of like $70 for them. If you've been watching the other videos, you know I've sold a ton of these. It's one of my favorite things to sell, I think, ever. They always sell extremely fast and for a lot. So very happy with the sale. Sold really fast and great profit. Moving on to September 13th, the first sale I made was a pair of Cabbie gray wash curvy slim boot jeans in a size 6. These sold for $25 with a Poshmark fee of $5, and then I was left with $20. These I got from the thrift store for $6, and I actually got them a year ago. So that is an extremely long time. I do not like to keep things that long. Cabbie jeans typically do really well for me. This pair, not so much. I think it has to do with the fact that they were a gray wash. I just don't think gray jeans are super popular. If they would have been black or just regular blue jean, I think they would have sold way faster. But I'm still happy to move them. Obviously, $25 is on the low end for Cabbie jeans. I think that's probably the lowest I've ever sold Cabbie jeans. Typically, I can get upwards of like $35, sometimes more for them. But it still did have a profit. It wasn't an amazing profit, but it still did have a profit. And it took a really long time to sell, but I'm very happy that they have moved. And next up is another Poshmark sale. This is a pair of Lululemon Wonder Under tights, full on look stream. These were in a size 6. These sold for $50 with a Poshmark fee of $10, and then I was left with $40. These leggings are from a flip lot. They took about 2 months to sell, so they sold really fast. I did want to get a little more for them, but they were low rise, which is why I don't think I got more for them. They were in amazing condition, like no wear at all. So if they would have been mid or high rise, I definitely think I would have got at least 60 or more for them. But I was happy to move them for 50. They still moved pretty quickly and they still had a good profit. And the last sale on September 13th was another Poshmark sale. This was by the brand Vince. This was a women's mock neck silk blouse in a size medium. This sold for $35 with a Poshmark fee of $7, and I was left with $28. This was once again from a flip lot. This blouse took about 2 weeks to sell, so it sold extremely fast. And what's funny about this sale is for about a week, I had someone offering me like, I don't remember. I think I had someone offering me like $25 for this blouse, and they kept like coming back, and then I'd counter my lowest and they declined, and they came back, and I countered my lowest and they came back, and it was just an ongoing battle. But this is where it's important to know what your items are worth, because I knew this was a Vince blouse, and typically Vince does not have an amazing resale value, but this was a silk blouse, which always adds value. Silk, wool, cashmere, all that adds value. And this top I knew was going to sell for at least 30 or more. I had it listed for 40. And so my lowest I was going to go at that moment was $30. So this person did not want to meet me at 30. It was my lowest. I sent them a message, let them know that was my lowest. They kept coming back lower and lower. So I just kept countering my lowest and didn't go below that. And then lo and behold, a week later, I had someone offer $35, and I immediately accepted because I knew that that was what my item was worth. This is where it is extremely important to know what your items are worth, because if I didn't know that this item was worth that much, I probably would have accepted her offer and then lost out on money. So make sure you know what your item is worth. And I know sometimes it's hard because you don't know if this item is going to sell for this much, or am I going to make this much? So just do your research and make sure you know what items are worth. And the more you resell and the more practice you get and the more knowledgeable you get, you'll be better at that. Moving on to September 14th, the first sale I made was a Mercari sale. This was by the brand Banana Republic. It was a long and lean fit lightweight blazer. This sold for $34 with a selling fee of $3.40 and a processing fee of $1.29, and then I was left with $29.31. This blazer was actually from my palette, and it took about 6 days to sell. If you haven't been here for a while, you don't know that I ordered a JOMAR Wholesale Passes palette about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe at this point. And I did get a lot of Banana Republic, and if you watched the hauls from the palette, you know I had an entire box of Banana Republic that I didn't know what I was going to do with. I ended up listing almost all of that recently, and this blazer ended up selling really fast. So I'm not as mad as I usually am at Banana Republic. It's actually kind of starting to grow on me, which scares me a little bit because that means I'm going to start picking it up at the thrift store more. But I'm still really picky with it. But this blazer sold extremely fast, and it sold for a great price at $34, so I'm really happy with it. And the last sale on September 14th was another Mercari sale. This is by the brand OTZ, which was a new to me brand. This is just a pair of women's espadrille slip-on clogs. They sold for $38 with a selling fee of $3.80 and a processing fee of $1.40, and I was left with $32.80. These were from a flip lot. They took about 6 days to sell as well. These did have a little bit of wear on them, which is why I accepted $38 as an offer. I think I had them listed at $45 originally. This is a new to me brand. I'd never heard of it before, but I will definitely be picking it up because these sold extremely fast. Moving on to September 15th, the first sale I made was another Mercari sale. I told you guys Mercari was on fire last week. This is a pair of Zara women's fabric high top sneakers. These sold for $24 with a selling fee of $2.40 and a processing fee of $1, and then I was left with $20.60. These were once again from a flip lot. They took about 2 months to sell. I did want a little more for these, but this specific lot, I hadn't sold a ton of stuff from the lot, and when I got an offer for $24, it wasn't super unreasonable, so I just went ahead and accepted it. It still had an okay profit. It definitely wasn't the biggest profit, but I was okay to move them because I hadn't really moved a ton from the lot, and it was still a reasonable price for the item, so I was happy with the sale, and they sold pretty fast. Next up is a Poshmark sale. This is a Lululemon purple striped razorback tank in a size 6. This sold for $25 with a Poshmark fee of $5, and then I was left with $20. This was once again from a flip lot. It took just under 1 month to sell. It sold extremely fast. Lululemon tank tops sell anywhere between like 20 and 30 depending on the tank top. This one happened to sell for 25. This tank top also, I couldn't find the stock photo or the style for it, so that also probably hurt me a little bit. in my opinion, Lululemon is probably one of the only brands where the style name helps sell the item, because people typically when they're shopping for Lululemon are shopping for a specific item. So that probably hurt me just a little bit, but I'm still happy with $25. That's pretty much what I predicted I'd get, so I'm happy with it. And the last sale on September 15th was another Poshmark sale. This is another Lululemon piece. This is a pair of women's studio pant 2 in black. These were in a size 8. They sold for $45 with a Poshmark fee of $9, and then I was left with $36. These were initially in a flip lot, and then I did a buyout for this lot. This lot, I think, had like 2 things left, and I went ahead and just bought the last 2 things out. I bought it out for a total of $10, and in my head, I knew that I would be paying $8 for these and then $2 for the other item, because the other item did have a small flaw on them. So technically, I paid $8 for these, which is a great profit, and they took 2 months to sell. This flip lot was only 2 months in when I bought it out, and these sold like right after I bought it out, so it pretty much worked out for me pretty well. I do find a lot of the times when I buy something out from a flip lot, it sells right after I buy it out, which is really weird. I don't know why it does that, but this ended up being a great profit, and it sold pretty fast. And moving on to September 16th, the first sale I made was a Poshmark sale. This is a pair of Ariat mid-rise out-seam Ella skinny jeans in a size 30. These sold for $40 with a Poshmark fee of $8, and then I was left with $32. These were from a flip lot. Once again, they took about 2 weeks to sell. They sold extremely fast. I have been loving Ariat lately. It's been selling extremely fast and for a really good amount. So if you're at the thrift store, I would definitely pick up this brand. And next up is a Mercari sale, and this is by the brand Doc Marten. These were the Hackney Union Jack Anarchy canvas boots. The name of these boots was crazy. Like, it had so many names in the title that this is what I came up with. But these sold for $60 with a selling fee of $6 and a processing fee of $204, and then I was left with $51.96. These were once again from a flip lot. These took like 1 week to sell. They sold extremely fast. Doc Martens is not a brand I like ever find, so my consignment client likes to send it to me, and I love it because it seems to sell pretty fast and it sells for a lot. So very happy with this. I did want a little more for these boots, but it was on Mercari, so you guys know I accept a little bit lower offers on Mercari just because the fees are a little bit lower, but I'm still happy with the sale, and they sold really fast. Next up is another Poshmark sale. This is a pair of Paige Jimmy skinny jeans in Carmen Tear and Repair in a size 28. These sold for $30 with a Poshmark fee of $6, and then I was left with $24. These I got from the thrift store for $6. I got them about 1.5 months ago, so they sold really fast, and typically I do like to get at least $35 for Paige jeans, but I had already sent, I think, 10, maybe even 20% offers on them, and when I got an offer for $30, I just went ahead and accepted. It was so reasonable. And I also have been having some really slow, bad sales recently, so I also accepted it because I just hadn't really been making a ton of sales. It's still a great profit, and I'm still really happy with the sale. I am pretty picky with Paige jeans. I don't ever like to sell like the really, really plain ones, but I will pick them up if they're cheap enough. Typically, I can find jeans pretty cheap where I am if there's a sale going on, so I do still pick up Paige, but I am way pickier than I once was. And next is another Poshmark sale. This is by the brand Gentle Souls. This is a pair of brand new Harley slingback snakeskin heels in a size 8. These sold for $30 with a Poshmark fee of $6, and then I was left with $24. These shoes were from a flip lot. They took about 2 months to sell. This specific flip lot, I don't know what's up with it. It's all shoes, and they're all really good brands, but I cannot move any of them. I think I had these listed at maybe like 38, around there, and when I received an offer for 30, I just accepted because I hadn't moved anything. I was starting to get discouraged, so I just accepted it. It was not as high as I wanted, but it was still within the estimates. They sold really fast within 2 months, but I do wish they would have sold for a little more. And next is another Poshmark sale. This is a pair of Eileen Fisher slim leg ankle pants in navy blue. These were in a size small. They sold for $35 with a Poshmark fee of $7, and then I was left with $28. These were also from a flip lot. They took about 5 weeks to sell, so they sold really fast. Eileen Fisher is a brand I really like to sell. It sells really well for me. There are a couple things that sit. Shoes. One of the things is shoes. I cannot move Eileen Fisher shoes for the life of me. They just sit forever, and I send offers, and no one wants them, so I don't know what the deal is, but I love Eileen Fisher clothes. The shoes are a little iffy right now. I have moved a pair, but they're not moving as fast or for as much as I wanted. But I do like Eileen Fisher as a brand, and I will probably always pick up Eileen Fisher. And the last sale for September 16th was another Poshmark sale. This is by the brand Astr. This is a knit long pinstripe blazer in a size medium. This sold for $38 with a Poshmark fee of $7.60, and then I was left with $30.40. This I got from a JOMAR box, and it's actually from a JOMAR box I haven't showed you guys. My two most recent CPR reseller boxes I actually didn't show you guys because I just I didn't film a haul or anything. And it cost me $4.65, and it sold in a couple weeks, so it sold extremely fast. And ASTR is not really a brand I pick up. I will pick up this brand if it's like a really trendy piece, which I think blazers right now are really in style for whatever reason, but this was like a long blazer, and I actually really liked the style of it. So in my head I was thinking it would sell pretty fast. I did not expect for it to sell for $38, which surprises me, but it makes me happy. I thought I'd get probably $35 or $30 for it, but someone bought it outright, so I listed at $38 and it sold for $38. So cannot complain there. It sold extremely fast and had great profit. And moving on to September 17th, the first sale I made was a Poshmark sale. This is by the brand Topshop. It was a black and white checkered shirt dress in a size 2. This sold for $21 with a Poshmark fee of $4.20, and then I was left with $16.80. I cannot tell you how incredibly happy I was to get this out of my closet. I believe this is the oldest item, or was the oldest item in my closet. I have no idea how much I paid for it. I got it so long ago, like well over a year and a half, probably 2 years or more. I got this at the very beginning of reselling, and clearly it was not a good thing. I have like lowered this all the way down to like $15, and it never sold, and I had it at $25 and received a $21 offer. I've never accepted an offer so fast in my life. I'm so happy I don't have to look at it anymore. Topshop is a brand that I am really picky with now, and I just don't really love the brand. I don't think it sells super well, so I'm really picky with it now. And next up is another Poshmark sale. This is actually my favorite sale from last week. I think it's my highest priced one as well. This is a pair of Prada suede pointed toe kitten heel knee-high boots. These were in a Europe size 38.5. They sold for $110 with a Poshmark fee of $22, and then I was left with $88. These were from a flip lot. They took about 2 months to sell, so they sold really fast. I had these listed at, I don't think too high. I want to say maybe actually $150. I might have had them listed at $150, and we went back and forth a couple times, and it landed on $110, which was still a reasonable price. Obviously, I did want a little more for them, but I still thought $110 was reasonable based on comps and everything. They were in a really great condition. I was surprised. These boots were actually really cute. I actually really liked them. They sold really fast, and of course they had a really great profit. And next up is a Mercari sale. This is by the brand Oakley. This is a men's black rival golf vest. It sold for $38 with a selling fee of $3.80 and a processing fee of $1.40, and then I was left with $32.80. This was once again from a flip lot. It took about 2 weeks to sell. It actually sold really fast, and Oakley is not really a brand that I ever pick up, which I was very surprised that this sold so fast because I don't pick up Oakley, which I don't really find it, so I don't know if I'd pick it up if I found it, but it was never a brand like I was looking for in my mind. So I was really surprised this sold on Mercari for $38. I actually listed it for $38, so it sold outright, which made me extremely happy, and it sold really fast, so I cannot be mad. And next is another Mercari sale. This is by the brand Sakuni. These were a pair of men's Ride 9 Ever Run sneakers. These sold for $30 with a selling fee of $3 and a processing fee of $1.17, and then I was left with $25.83. These sneakers were once again from a flip lot. These took about 1.5 months to sell. These actually sold extremely fast after I relisted them, which made me very happy. I had them listed at, I want to say $40. Someone offered $30. I accepted. These were in really great condition, but they were just an older Sakuni sneaker, so they didn't really have a ton of value in them, so $30 was reasonable for them. These sold extremely fast and of course had a good profit, so I'm happy with the sale. And the last sale on September 17th was a pair of Adidas women's Tubular Shadow sneakers. These sold for $36 with a selling fee of $3.60 and a processing fee of $1.34, and then I was left with $31.06. These sneakers were once again from a flip lot. They took about 2 months to sell. They sold really fast, had a great profit. I did want more for these. Had them listed at, I think, $45. I want to say I had relisted them not too long before they sold. I had them listed probably higher than $45 before I relisted them, but they didn't really have a ton of interest. So when I got an offer for $36, I just accepted because I wanted to move them quickly. and it was a flip item. I like to move my flip items pretty quick. Sometimes I'll take less on them because I want to move them fast. But I'm happy with the sale nonetheless, and it still had a good profit. And finally, moving on to September 18th, the first sale I made was a Poshmark sale. This was an ASOS black A-line midi skirt in a size 10. This sold for $28 with a Poshmark fee of $5.60, and then I was left with $22.40. This skirt was also from my two most recent JOMAR reseller CPR boxes. I paid $4.65 for it, and it sold in 2 days. This skirt sold extremely fast. I actually listed it for $28 and it sold for $28, which with ASOS, if you find the right ASOS piece, it will sell really fast and for a good amount, but most ASOS just sits for a while. So I had a feeling this skirt might do well because I feel like these are kind of in style right now. And it did end up selling in 2 days, so I'm really happy with it, and it still had a great profit. And last but not least is another Poshmark sale. This is by the brand Matilda Jane. It was a brand new with tag, a little party long sleeve dress in a size large. It sold for $35 with a Poshmark fee of $7, and then I was left with $28. This dress was also from a flip lot. It took about a month to sell, so it sold really fast. Matilda Jane is a brand I really like to sell. Not everything, but for the most part, Matilda Jane pretty much does well for me almost every time I get it. This dress was new with the tag, which did help it sell. I had it listed for $45 originally, and I received an offer for $35. I thought about countering, but I ended up just accepting because it was still more than what I estimated to get for it. $35 was still a great price, and it was pretty on par with the sold comps and everything, so it was still a great price, and it was a great sale, and it had great profit. Alright guys, that was it for this week's What's a Wednesday video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me know what your favorite sale was down below. Mine were definitely the Prada boots. Those definitely were the best sale from last week. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you're enjoying, and don't forget to turn on that bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again next week.